What's up, everybody, and thank you so much for tuning in to 305 Radio, a part of 305 Magazine on MiamiUndergroundRadio.com. We're actually going out with a bang today because it's our last show from the Brickell station. I'm your girl, Dre Mob, and you can find me on the gram at 305_Brownie. Make sure you guys follow us at 305 Radio everywhere. Shout out to William of Livesay Media. You can find him at LMG_Willie, and that's Willie with a Y at the end.
Yo, what's good, everyone in the internet world? Everyone that's listening to us around the world, my name is George of 305 Magazine. Thank you for tuning in. And like Drea said, man, we are going out with a bang because this is the last day in this studio, at least. We're going to relocate. If you own a studio in the Miami area, please contact us if you want to partner. But for the most part, thank you for tuning in. Today we have not one but two shows. Drea. Not one, but two shows in the same day.
Isn't that crazy? And we got some really good guests today.
And then today's guest, though, the first part of the night, the day, whenever the fuck you're listening to us, we have two individuals that are ahead of the curve here. In a
way
market.
Ahead.
I mean, in a market we can't even start talking about right now. But let me just say this: we got two individuals here. We have Leo from DBD Inc. in the building, and BK. Fucking Ray in the building.
Yeah. Welcome to the show, guys.
You already know.
Fucking right.
I'm saying now, you guys, you know, as I mentioned, you guys are part of DBD. Tell me a little bit, what is DBD for those that don't know?
Day by Day Lifestyles is what DBD stands for. It's a lifestyle brand revolving around the medical marijuana community out here in South Florida. We're about to take our talents up north too, so y'all just be patient. Orlando, Tampa area, we coming. Y'all been asking for it for a couple years now, but we are based out of South Florida. We do all of our shows in South Florida, and we put a lot of brands on, man. It's what we do. We try to make everybody winners, leaders. We build leaders. It's our little motto. So if you don't follow us, hurry up and follow us. Make sure you follow before the wave gets too high to ride. And yeah, that's what we do. We're an entertainment company.
What kind of entertainment are we talking about here, Leo?
Well, to start off, we can catch us at G5 tonight. Monday
What is
night.
G5, bro? Tell us.
Take Flight Mondays.
Take Flight Mondays, G5, man. Every single Monday.
Is an internationally known
World
gentleman's
famous.
establishment.
Yeah.
Gentleman's establishment.
In other words.
Wink, wink.
A titty bar. And in Florida, we have bottomless titty bars, so it's a strip club.
Oh, man.
Full nude.
Guys, but before we continue and get into the nitty-gritty details about DBD and everything you guys stand for, can you tell me a little bit about your background, your nationality, just where you're from? Let's start with Leo and then BK, please.
I'm Dominican, raised here in Miami. My whole life been out here in Miami. Moved to Seattle for a couple years as an adult, but I'm original Miami boy. 305, was raised on Uncle Luke music, so you know the drift. I'm Miami to the death of me.
Okay,
How about
Ray?
you, BK?
Oh, me? I'm from Wisconsin. I'm born and raised in Brooklyn. And I'm Italian, like 66% according to Ancestry.com.
See, I haven't done that
I
yet.
thought I was 100.
I think I'm Dominican.
What do you know? Yeah, I'm originally from Brooklyn. I did a bunch of moving around. I joined the Army right after 9/11, so I bumped around a bunch of places, and I left South Philly in 2008 for Florida, and that's it. Now I'm a Floridian. That's it.
Nice. Now, how'd you guys get into this industry?
Well, for me...
Whoa. Let's talk about this industry. What's the industry we're talking about here, my friend?
The medical marijuana industry is the biggest growing industry right now in the world. $1 billion industry wherever it touches. I mean, Florida was unheard of just last year. Now we're on the leading top tier of all medical marijuana states in the country. So wherever medical marijuana goes is going to be a successful drift in that community, city, town, state, wherever it goes, it's going to happen. I got involved because I moved to Seattle, started growing in Seattle maybe like 8 years ago, and I had a partner out there. The laws drifted just like they do in every other state. Everything's all great and everyone votes for something and you just don't know what you're voting for, and then a year or two later the state comes in, switches it all up on you, and then everything changes. So I came back home And my grow in Seattle was DBD, and it standed for Dabbing BHO Daily. We used to process all our flour into wax. This is before live resin and sauce and all. It was just wax, shatter, crumble. And when I came over here, I wanted to keep that DBD name, so I decided to just keep DBD. And I thought, and I was like, damn, day by day, Day by Day Lifestyle. I started a lifestyle company, a brand. And I kept the name DBD. It followed me from Seattle. People still fuck with me, and it's here now. It's a lifestyle brand.
That's dope. And BK, when did you get involved?
Honestly, I've been smoking pot for a long fucking time. But besides that, when I first got out of the military, I was on a lot of fucking like prescription medicine, like fucked up stuff. Tranquilizers, antipsychotics, a bunch of fucking antidepressants. I had like severe PTSD, and it sucked. It took a lot out of me. I was a shell of a fucking human. I wasn't me, or I didn't have a personality or anything. I just made it through every day like a fucking sloth. And I started smoking real heavy and doing dabs, and it was working better for me. And little by little, I started leaving the prescription medicine alone. Now, I don't take any prescription medicine. I just medicate with THC and CBD. And I started coming and attended events. I know Leo over 3 years, but I got in first as a customer and then as a vendor, and then just kept on going.
That's dope.
Yeah.
Now, how long were you in the military before?
Almost 5 years, like 4 3/4. I got out with some injuries, so I got out a little early from my 5-year term. Yeah.
Wow.
But I joined for 3 and re-enlisted for 2. I was in Iraq for 17 months.
Wow.
So, but yeah.
I asked because, man, it's I think that's something really important to point out, because to suffer so much, to have PTSD and be on heavy meds, and to see that you're no longer on meds, and how
he broke out of that shell and has hella personality now.
I'm saying, y'all should have tuned in earlier. I mean, we should have started recording earlier. Fuck that. But no, we've been having a good time and whatnot. I would have never known. Seeing the way seeing your character now, I would have never known.
But I'm a totally different person, and personal growth for me is like on a yearly level. Even though it's minor things in between, I feel like it's on a yearly level. I see a lot of personal growth. Sometimes it's a struggle. Don't get me wrong. I'm not perfect. I stumble all the time. Right. People closest to me will see it before anybody. This guy right here has seen it a bunch of times. This one right here has seen it a couple times too. Every now and then, the ugly guy inside wants to fucking rah. I can't keep him in there, but I'm a leaps and bounds from where I was. That's especially if you even talk about 4 years ago, I was a totally different person.
Come a long way, little buddy.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, what do you think sets you guys apart from everybody else who's in this quote-unquote industry? What sets DBD apart from everybody else in the industry?
You want to answer that one?
I can. Well, industry is a better word. I'm glad you said industry, because that's the difference. We really treat it like a community. We really do a lot to build it in a community. We do handle a lot of vendors and take a lot of vendors from not to say nothing, but from what a minimal thing would be to actually like a full brand, or from like a lemonade stand to a simply lemonade or something that's in the store. Besides that, I mean, we give back to the community as much as we can. We do a lot of stuff with charity, and we really try and help a good amount of people, more than I think. I'm not going to say anything about what anybody else does. I'll just say what they don't do. They don't do what we do.
Nobody does what you guys do.
That's pretty much it.
Now, give me an idea of what do you do?
I mean,
tell me how these events go down. Paint a picture for those that haven't been and want to go, and just they want to be able to imagine what's going on here.
Well, here's the thing. The events, anybody can throw an event. Anybody can throw an MMJ event. Anybody can rent a warehouse and make a flyer and post it on their IG and say that they're having an event next weekend. That's great. Everyone can do that. But when your events don't have a vibe, when your events are not consistent, when your events, when you hear other people, bashing your events or stuff like that, it makes me feel alarmed, because now there's a lot of people that don't know who DBD is. There's a lot of people that don't know who BK Ray is. There's a lot of people that do know who these other event throwers are, and they might go to those events for the first time, have a horrible time, and then get invited to something that we do, and say, oh no, we did that already. I don't think we want to do that again. And that's where we get, the anger comes out, because if you're not gonna do something 100%, don't do it at all. And that goes for everything, not just event throwing. You know what I'm saying? If you're not committed to it, if it's not something that feeds your kids, it's not something that you want to be the best at, just stick to what you're doing. Is the way I see it. You know what I'm saying? Like, if we fail at this, like, we can't. In other words, if these other guys that fail, they already have a plan B. This is what we do. This is like, if McDonald's fails, does that make sense? No. Okay. So all these food trucks and stuff like that, they can fail because they just started doing that. But people that have been around, that doing something for such a long time, have created this wave that people are just trying to hop on, and it's tough because you can't duplicate what we do. The vibe is so separate. We tell that to everyone. Like I said, you can run a warehouse, you can fill it with vendors, and you can try to create a vibe. It's just not gonna.
Tell us in detail a little bit about the actual events. Like, give me at least one example of one event and just how you guys set it up, who's involved, the things that go behind the preparation.
As far as the events goes, we book a bunch of vendors. We get a bunch of vendors involved and brands and
the theme changes sometimes.
We're
calendar schedule wise with holidays, the themes change. The vendors somewhat stay the same. I mean, there's a core group of vendors that always support. We'll give them a shout out in a little while. We have a list of people that have been holding us down for a long time. There's new vendors. I mean, at the end of the day, it's a really ever evolving thing. Like, it keeps changing so much between legality and everything else in the market. You go from problems we had last year to problems we have this year are not the same problems. Right now, the biggest problem is oversaturation of this market. Now it's just the thing to do. Before it was when everyone was scared or the pinch was too big and the feds and all these crazy things everybody was scared of. The more people like us get away with it, the more other people want to do it.
Yeah, fact.
And then it makes it look easy. It's just like anything else. You ever sit home and see somebody do something, they make it look so fucking easy because they're so good at it, you think you can do it? It's true. There's so many things you watch and you're like, oh shit, I can fucking do it. Just because they're so good at it. It's happened to me a million times. It's sports, or like, I went wakeboarding with friends one time and I was like, I could fucking do this. This fucking fat idiot's fucking doing it. I went up there, fell on my fucking face. But he made it look so easy that people think they could do it. So now it's to a point where I feel like the whole industry sees that it's a thing that can be done and be done well, that they're like, oh, I can fucking do that. And my sister could do that. My grandma could fucking do that. My grandma had a sesh last night. My aunt had a sesh the week before. And now there's 5 sessions a week. Never mind where there was 4 or 5 a month. Mm-hmm. So it makes it challenging for us to still give the people what they want. Not only turn a profit, let's not pretend like this is for free, and still keep everybody safe, which is a huge thing to us. We always try to keep everybody safe. There's a million things people go to. There's issues in other places with robberies and, a ton of things that can happen. Everything from cops. I mean, we have protocols in effect and a bunch of stuff. Like he said, he's been doing this. It's not something just woke up today and decided, hey, those people are doing that. Looks like they're making money and having fun. I want to fucking do it too.
No, of course.
That's not what's going on over here.
I mean, and you mentioned the legality of things. I'll be honest, man. The first DBD event I went to.
Which was what?
Which one? Do you remember the name?
What? Do you remember?
It was at
I think it was this. Oh, no.
It was at Shots. Because I looked around and I grabbed Drea. I go,
no, it wasn't at Shots. I think that was the St. Fatty's Day sesh.
Was it?
I think so.
Last year's? Or the one that you
last year's.
Alapada?
No. It was in Wynwood. It was Shots. Trust me, it was Shots.
Okay, either way.
So it was a Shots, and I felt like I was going to jail. I'm an old school dude, B. I've never been into one of those. For me, if you put yourself out there, you're out there. Something's gonna happen. Went to the event. I just freaked out. I was like, this event's a little out there. It's a bit much than I'm used to. But the vibe was different. That whole feeling, it was just, you had people performing. There were up and coming MCs coming on, and if either sucked or it was tolerable, whatever it was a good time because they were jamming with their crowd. Their crowd was jamming with the vendors. The vendors were getting everyone trashed. Everyone was having a blast. And that's where I started believing in the actual movement, that it's actually being a movement.
I mean, we've never had to throw somebody out.
Thank God.
We've never had a fight.
No fights.
We've never had securities, never had to do any of those things, which is a lot to say for 5 years. We're doing the same thing.
Well, let me tell
If
you,
alcohol is involved, the first night, that's fucking happened.
Fact.
We have alcohol at our parties. It's just not the main
focus.
thing,
Yeah,
of course,
but it's still there.
I don't want to go too far into what we're doing now and what's to come in the future, because we're going to get into that as well. But you guys were talking about legalities, and you mentioned the feds and all of that. So can we kind of go back in time and talk a little bit about the pop-up and what happened with your case, and just kind of touch base on that and let everybody know what's going on?
To go back to what George was saying over here, you know, that he felt like the first event he went to a couple years back, he felt like he was going to go to jail. Event coordinators that do this right, they're the ones that go to jail. They don't ever risk their vendors. They don't ever risk their guests. They don't ever risk their team, security, no one that's working the event. And that's exactly what happened, to answer Dre's question, at the pop-up. The first pop-up we had a parking issue where some of the people called over some cars parked in some wrong spots. We had security go over there and make sure the cars were moved, and they weren't moved fast enough that police pulled up and they forced their way. They came to the front door. We didn't let them in. They came inside to get me. By the time I came outside, you know, to approach the cops, you know, they were there for the parking issue, which was one cop at the time. He forced his way into the event. When he forced his way into the event, imagine, he sees fucking Cali. He's like, he shit his pants.
Literally.
He shit his pants, and I'm standing. I'm literally standing next to this cop, a city cop, you know, in his uniform, looking at my vendors. You know, and all the vendors are just looking at me. This is what's happening, you know. So everyone's just looking at me. I'm looking back, like, you know, I'm trying to control the situation, but at that point, you know, it's just too late. Thank God that he forced his way in. You know, he wasn't supposed to, you know. And things ended up in favor of us. I obviously went to jail that night. I took the blame for the whole entire event. All my vendors fled. All my guests fled. I was on the cover of New Times as the quiet man, because I didn't want to speak. I could have gave up. There was 36 vendors at that show. All they wanted was one. That's all they wanted. And I just couldn't, because I knew, like I said, there's a lot of event coordinators out there, there's a lot of event throwers out there that I know 100% this shit happens to them, they will never come back to this. Or not only that they won't, but they can't, because they don't have the people behind them that believe in them. You know what I'm saying? When I threw my first event after coming back from that tragedy, I had more guests at that event than I've ever had in my life at any other event. What does that show you? That shows you that people ride with you, people believe in you. And
especially when you don't talk.
So it took 18 months, the whole case. Shout out to Michael Minardi. Michael Minardi came through hard. That is the number one Florida medical marijuana attorney in the state. He took care of me and my team. He made sure that we were untouched. I obviously kept my mouth shut. None of my vendors were touched or hurt or even spoken about. And that's why they're still out here. Yeah, imagine 800 guests, 38 vendors, and one person gets arrested. The event coordinator. How it's supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? And
I think it's great that you mentioned that, because as someone coming from the outside in, not knowing the way these things work, because it's a whole new ballgame. This is, again, like I mentioned at the beginning of the show, you guys are ahead of your curve. You are ahead of the curve, because once the legality of all this stops, it's going to be a different world. It's going to be a completely different world. So
Wild, Wild West.
Absolutely. And then you guys are already on top of everything. And that's what I think is more impressive than anything else in this whole story. Because to start off like that, that's G shit. You motherfuckers get to listen to this now. That's straight up G shit. Shut the fuck up. You don't say nothing.
Pioneer shit, man.
So this is why shit moves forward. Because if you would have ratted everyone out, it wouldn't have happened.
There's a lot of people that are just new to this game right now. They don't even know that even happened. You know what I'm saying? I've gotten, since this ended about 6-7 months ago, I don't know how many people have reached out to us to interview us just on that. Not even like this, that they want to know who we are, what we do. No, they just want to interview us on what happened, how I'm out, why nothing, you know what I'm saying? How come nothing happened, what they wanted it to happen. So we're waiting for the right interview to go ahead and just lay it all out there. There's a lot of stuff behind that story. There's a lot of things that happen after that story. There's a lot of people that used us, competitors that used that against us, that we've heard from the grapevines of other venue owners that will come to us and be like, hey, look, this guy told me that you guys got raided. I'm like, shit. Not only have I never gotten raided, and I've been trapping since I was 12 years old. I stopped trapping once my kids were born. But not only have I never been raided trapping, I know that when someone comes to raid you, they come with tanks and about 20, 30 cars. Everyone's going down. Everyone's getting tie wrapped to the floor. Yep. There was one city cop car overweight that came.
Who was throwing up or something?
He walked into the event and started throwing up.
Yeah, and a paddy wagon with 2 fat female cops. They put masks on when they walked in.
This motherfucker.
I swear to fucking God.
The venue was so
like
boxed.
It was fucking a meth lab.
The venue was so boxed that immediately the lieutenant guys just started throwing up.
They were outside like fanning them off like it was. They were like in a toxic fuck. Like they went into fucking some crazy shit.
Yo.
So
just one word. Just one word for those guys. Rookies.
I'm just say fuck 12 real quick.
I mean, and it
not my sister, but everybody else, or her husband.
And there's just a lot of people that don't know that story. There's a lot of these event, they're get together coordinators. That's what we call them. They throw get-togethers. That just don't know what can happen. You know what I'm saying? So we're afraid. We used to go to all the events. People that have been around for a while, people that have been around for a few years, they know. They used to see us at all of these events. We used to go show love at every single event. Now, unfortunately, there's 30 events every week, and we can't show love. And not only if we could, we don't, because we don't feel safe at some of these events. From what vendors tell us and from what guests tell us, we don't feel safe. And I can't jeopardize my whole team going down at somebody else's event because of somebody else's unprofessionalism. You know what I'm saying? So
shout out Allspec too. Allspec's our security group.
Shout out Allspec.
They're keeping it safe. They invented the whole. We pretty much invented the protocol with them for this. You know, like shout out to them, man. They do a great job. They keep everybody fucking safe. They don't take no shit.
Talk to me about the team that you guys have and what their roles are in.
We got a pretty cool structured team. Bunch of crazy people. Everyone has their own personalities. Everyone has their own things that they take care of at these events. There were 6 of us in total. I count.
It's more than 6, but
well, internally, there's about 6 of us, and then we have our branched out. You know, we have a lot of brand sponsors that work with us. We have a lot of people that also contribute to the team. But I think internally we're about 6. We got BK Ray. He's like my right hand man. Basically does everything. Basically does everything that I do.
Not everything.
Basically does what I do. Whoa, chill.
We have Dre. Shout out to Dre. 305 Brownie.
Brownie.
I heard she's the craziest one in the group.
Bro, she's wild, bro. She is wild, bro. You guys gotta get her on the show.
Streaking. She's always streaking somewhere.
Streaking.
G5 was her idea.
Jumping on top of cop
G5
cars.
was her idea.
Bro. You know how many times I had to bail that girl out?
That's the one we keep a bail bondsman on.
Retainer.
We have 4 retainers for Dre.
She gets a little crazy. She has a white wine spritzer and she starts cutting people.
Man, since you brought up the team, you guys have had a busy summer.
Oh yeah, bro.
A really busy
This is the
summer.
first time that we put that together. We try to do that for the community, you know, so they can have something to do every other weekend. Excuse me. Which does not consist of putting people in a warehouse. Like, I feel like these event coordinators, they love sardines. Like, they want to put people in a warehouse and crunch them in a warehouse and play their boombox with a big speaker, and they call that an event, and that's fucking up the game.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just real talk. So that's where you kind of have to, like, there's levels to this shit. And there's levels to anything. There's levels to burger joints. There's levels to this. There's levels to the radio shows. There's levels. You know what I'm saying?
Here's the other issue, too. Because this is an illegal market, let's be clear, there's a lot of things that you can do that you can't do in a real marketplace. Yeah. A lot of industries you couldn't just pop up in tomorrow. You just couldn't. There's no way for you to do it. Because this is the way it is, some of these people can go have a flea market. I'm talking about as well as like let's see what's built to this point. Pricing structures and things that come with this. When you just come to the table and you don't give a fuck about what was built before you or anything else, it's like coming into the NBA and should be like, oh, this is a 7-pointer. I just created it. No, that's not a fucking thing. Like, so people they diminish what's been built already. Some people come in and where we set what we feel is a fair market price, they'll shit on that, or they'll change what we've been charging vendor. Not just us, the industry dictates most of this. It's not like we wrote it all. We worked on it and we compromised to get it to where it is, but a lot of people just come, step in, and they'll do whatever they think they need to do to make money or to do what they got to do. They're not worried about keeping people safe or a community or having solid
a market
people
or
there
the market
or anything to
Without
do with
calling anybody out by any names and starting any drama, what do you have to say to these people who are trying to ride the DBD wave?
Well, here's the thing, bro. Just keep the market afloat. Like, if we've been doing this for 6 years, by the way, we're going to have our 6-year anniversary in January. It's going to be the first ever all-free DBD event. Everybody is going to get in free, okay? So let's get that out the way right now. We've been doing this for 6 years, and there's been a price. There's been a market for this that no one has ever complained about. People will come, they'll pay double, VIP, ultra VIP, gold package VIP to come and kick it and do these special things that we plan for people. Then you got Joe Schmo that wants to throw whatever type of event,
a $10 flea market,
$10 flea market event, $5 pre-sale. Like, you know what I'm saying? People used to get hurt back in the day for that, for lowering the market on other things. We're talking about the streets. You know what I'm saying?
In my country, they kill people for less than that.
You know what I'm saying? You got to keep the prices afloat. It's like any other product. You got to maintain that price so that way we can all eat. You want to throw an event, but your event is not worth a $30 event like ours, then maybe you shouldn't call it an event. Maybe you should focus on something else or put yourself on our level so that way we can all have this price range where we can all eat. So, you know, I got a lot of people that are getting comfortable with these cheaper events that they complain about, but they want to complain about our prices. Our prices have been the same for 6 years. We have never changed our price. They do go up because we do more things than the average event coordinator does. But other than that, our events are basic, fair events for what we're doing. You know what I'm saying? And the security that we have and the protection that we have on these events, the venues that we book, and the artists that come and perform. We don't even have to book artists anymore, or people that are, you know, in the game. They come and just show love now, you know. I remember the first year I did this, like I said, 6 years ago, I booked Young Breed. Now there's not an event that Young Breed does not come to. You know what I'm saying?
Shout out to Young Breed.
Shout out to Young Breed, the whole MMG. We got a lot of big things coming with MMG. We're about to go, we'll say that for another day. I need But yeah, so I mean, it's just people. Noriega, we booked Noriega 2 years ago. Now he just shows up. You know what I'm saying? So the people that these event coordinators are booking are just coming to our events
just to catch a vibe,
to catch
not
a vibe,
to catch a paycheck like they're going to everybody else for.
So it's a big conflict in that sense. Which is the thing is we make a stoner's dreams come true. I have a real big problem with our events being. That's why we have such a diversity of events. I have a real big problem of our events being the same. We don't ever want our events to be the same. We go from dinners. You want to smoke in a restaurant? We got you. Dinner and dabs. By the way, dinner and dabs is tomorrow. Tuesday. Tomorrow. Dinner and dabs. You can get your tickets right now on Eventbrite. The link is in the bio. DBD_.com. DBD_Inc. If you don't follow me. But you want to smoke in a restaurant? We put you in a restaurant. We make you smoke in a restaurant. You want to smoke in a bowling alley? We make that happen to you. Let's go to 710 Bowling, which is July 28th.
On a boat.
You want to smoke on a boat.
On
you want to do a Canada tour. We
Just-
put you on an exclusive luxury bus, and we go travel Florida all the way upstate, and we put you on smoking. You want to do a yacht party? We already done that. I mean, there isn't St. Fatty's Day, Super Bowl sesh. Pool party, mansion pool, but it's not something that you can name. I mean, there is, and we're working on them, but if you really think about it, the diversity of what we do compared to what everybody else does, there is no comparison. Now, if you have 1 million people coming to your event at $5, $10 a pop, hey, congratulations, that's amazing. That's not what we do. What we do is we try to exclude ourselves from the average event coordinators and the people that think that they're doing something that people want. But at all perspective, people come to us and they let us know the truth. And that's why we are successful, because we get feedback from vendors. We get feedback from guests. We get feedback from sponsors, artists, performers. They come to us with a trust, and they tell us stuff. You know, and we just stay quiet and we create the best vibes that we can. You don't ever see us bashing nobody. You don't ever see us talking about nobody.
I want to.
Even the people that know.
Stay political. My partner here refrains me from. I signed a gag order that I won't attack anybody physically or verbally. So
I mean, there's a lot of people that deserve to get smacked. There's a lot of people that deserve for me to just say it right now on live radio. It's not worth it for me. You know, the clout, giving them the extra clout, it's not even worth it. We got a bunch of haters, but just like everybody else, it's cool. We're gonna keep doing what we do. You know,
doing something right. If you got
you guys. I haven't seen another event like you guys put together a carnival for Christ's sake.
Oh, the hemp carnival.
Bro.
The hemp carnival. Who has put together a 420 hemp carnival?
And I'm gonna tell you something.
It was a 2-day event.
It was the most stressful
in the middle of Wynwood
fucking event I've ever done in my entire life. That's not even a joke. We dealt with so many fucking things from. Oh,
and we don't even gotta say it.
I ain't gonna read that. We'll read the comments after. But we went through so many things, dude. We learned lessons that we never learned. We jumped. Not too fast, but we jumped to another level. We're always raising the bar. And you know what? Sometimes when you raise the bar the first time you go to jump it, you don't make it. Mm-hmm. You know? Sometimes you got to practice and jump it a couple times before you clear it. And you know what? We made it over, but we touched our ass and our back on the bar. Yeah. So we learned a lot of things. We had issues with the city, with permitting, with a bunch of stuff. You know, we learned a lot of lessons about everything you could learn lessons about without getting into details, and we still put together the best thing that we could put together. We didn't make money on that event. People might not know that, and I'm not scared to say that we didn't make money on that event. But we gave everybody the best thing that we can give them, and a bunch of everybody that came had a great time. But it was not as it intended for us from the very beginning. It wasn't what we planned for months, more than months. Almost. This was something that we weren't ready to do, and we did it anyway. We pushed through and we made it happen. But
first ever Florida hemp carnival, we made history. That was our payment.
That was the thing, but we did not we lost money. And,
definitely.
And we learned some things. You know, there's a lot of Hallmark holidays I'm not going up against again. Mother's Day's one of them. You know, like there's a lot of things you don't realize. Easter Sunday is what it was. And you know what? I was like, Christianity's fucking dead and blah, blah, blah. but no, Easter Sunday is a real thing. Everybody goes out to eat, even if they don't even like Easter or anything. It's just a family day. Yeah. And that's what we ran into on that second day. But the first day, we had great numbers. We had another event in the same genre across the fucking street. I mean, there wasn't enough things that could have went wrong, and we made it right. So, I mean, it was definitely a good event. It was a learning experience, and it was something for us to learn for next year when we do the second annual Hemp Carnival.
Gotcha. Because, man, that carnival was insane. I went the first day.
Who else do you know can pull off
no one.
A 420 carnival in Wynwood, the heart of Miami, where rides and concession stands.
There was
performances.
There was a rock climbing thing.
That was the little water guns.
There was a little bit of everything.
It was an amazing vibe. Everybody that came out had an amazing time throughout the whole entire weekend. We had a bunch of new faces come. We had our original crowd always comes out. A bunch of vendors came. A bunch of people left the event next door complaining and came to our event. Nice. Because they didn't find what they wanted at that event. Found out that we didn't have what they wanted either, but we had a vibe. And like I said, our vibe is so separate. People know where to go when they want to be put in a sardine box, and people know where to go when they want to catch a vibe. And DBD Lifestyles is exactly where you go when you want to catch a vibe.
Yeah.
Now, let's talk about this legality world.
It's a super gray area now.
I'm saying, like, what the hell is gonna happen the moment?
If I can answer that question like that, I would already be on top of it. The thing is that people are voting for things they don't know that they're voting for. People don't know, including us that we're in this. We don't even get to make it to all the conferences and all the stuff up north, and where you find out all this great information that you're trying to ask me about. The last conference we went to was the FIU one, which was a great turnout. We had a great time, but we try to stay involved and we try to find out as much details and information as we can. But it's such a tricky scenario that one day it's this and the next day is that. So we don't want to false advertise anything and give people wrong information about something that can change in the matter of hours. You know what I'm saying? So that's the whole thing. Legality as far as events goes, events are still getting busted in Cali. You know what I'm saying? Cali's been legal for years. It's just something that you can't control. There's legal dispensaries and growth. It's whenever they want.
Involved on the legal side when it comes to stuff like this. When legal cannabis money comes around, it's like anything else. They're gonna push the illegality out of it. You know, it's still at the end of the day, you have a dispensary paying how many millions of dollars in taxes and overhead to sell a legal product that we're selling on a table. Well, not us, but we have people selling at a table. It's cutting their throat in their eyes. And from a business standpoint, the only thing they can use is legality on us. It's the only thing they can do. You know, try and get them shut down. To them, it's them losing money. More people will go to a dispensary in their eyes if we didn't do what we did. You know what I'm saying?
I feel you.
It's like it's like Publix getting mad at the farmer's market up the street for selling vegetables, you know?
Yeah.
But big money wins in games like that.
Let's talk about... Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was going to ask you a little bit about the vendors that you guys have at the events. Let's say there's somebody out there who wants to get involved with the movement. They're kind of doing their own thing. How would somebody be able to approach you guys to see what the possibility is for that? And how do you screen the people that you welcome into the community as a vendor?
I mean, as far as vending goes, screening, we at this point, we've gotten to the point where we know, you know, who's legit and who's not. Even if you're a new vendor, even if you're a new vendor, maybe your IG only has 3 posts. We know who's out here doing what. We know who's out here doing nothing, and we know who's out here just trying to, you know, probably come and see what we're doing. Vendors turn event coordinators weekly. I know 10 vendors that now throw events. So do we want to help out vendors that are sketchy and we feel like, I'm not worried about a vendor doing anything else besides trying to copy our shit. You know what I'm saying? I used to be a vendor, but 6 years ago. There was no one throwing events 6 years ago. So that's the only thing that we're alarmed by right now, are just vendors that aren't in it for the right reasons. If you're going to vend, you know what I'm saying? Then you got vendors that are throwing events and vending at their events. You know what I'm saying? Like, can you imagine DBD having a booth at our event, selling everything that our vendors sell? Does that make any sense? No, it doesn't make any sense. I'm actually taking money out of my vendors' pockets that are paying me to be here. You know what I'm saying? So why is it okay for new vendors to throw events and vend also at their events? You know what I'm saying? It's just not something that we are okay with. It's not something that we are going to put a check mark next to. And we're looking, we see, we're not blind. We might not say nothing, but we see who's doing what. And I don't have a problem with people throwing events. But when you're trying to tap into 4 different markets, you know what I'm saying? And like, you're putting people out just so that you can be in there. If you're throwing the event, shit, invite another vendor. Why are you vending? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
no, and you know what else too? There's a lot of things you can do. We get approached by people, other vendors or other coordinators that are like, hey, listen, we wanted to come talk to you and see, we're thinking about having events in the area, wanted to see your schedule, and trying not to make a conflict of interest. That's awesome. Not everybody's built like that, though. Then there's the same type of people that come and ask us and tell us shit, and then they don't do what they came and said and do. My biggest fucking problem is when we drop a date and these motherfuckers come a day before us. I don't like that shit. I don't give a fuck who you are. If you hear this right now, I don't fucking like you if that's what you do. That's the real point. If we drop the date for the 20th and you have a party on the 19th, go fuck yourself. I don't care what the reason is. I don't care if it's your great-grandma's 150th birthday. I hope she catches a stroke and dies blowing her birthday candles out. But you're a scumbag. And they're poaching the market, and there's no reason for any of it. There's so much room that it would be better for everybody to have a good week in between events. It'd be better for the guests to recoup their money. It'd be better for the vendors. It would be better for everybody. But greed takes over, and everybody sees it. And then those people that I'm talking about are like, bet. They set a date, we'll just jump in right before them. You know, it's just one of those things. No one would ever do that. Could you imagine a performer setting up a concert tour, dropping his tour dates, and another artist has a show a day before every one of your tour dates?
That actually does happen with a few different shows. Especially here in Miami, it really happened with Ultra and Music Week. The artists were being booked on the beach as well as on the shows. So they signed a contract where if you perform with us, you can't perform anywhere else.
Yeah.
So once they started doing that, it changed everything. But I feel you on things are fucked up across the board. Like it happens. When you have competition.
Then we have people that want to throw events and hit us up, DM us. Hey, can I come by your event? I'm new to to the community. I want to start throwing my events, but I want to run a couple things by you before I do that. Shit, I look at Ray like, yo, look at this. That's what's up. Much love, respect. They show up. Excuse me. We invite them to our events for free. They come in with their guests. They take a look around, and they come to us and face to face. They tell us, bro, what we got, it's completely different. Now that we see what you guys are doing, our ideas are completely different. You'll never have a problem with us. Let us know our dates. Let us know your dates before you drop an event. We won't conflict, and we won't be doing nothing like your events. Next thing you know, 2 or 3 weeks later, there's an event going on with the same exact shit, the same exact vendors, the same exact performances, the same concept. Why don't you just hire me? Hire me and I'll throw your events for you, and you can put your name. You can put your name on your event, and I'll do it for you. If you're gonna come and just literally come to my house and just take everything that I own and put it in your house. That's what it is.
And they do it too. They do the same thing. Then they do the other option. They come, they say the same thing, but then they ask us to host. They get a price, and they're like, fuck it, I'll just do it myself. Same thing, and that's cool too. But you don't have to do all that extra. You can just do it yourself.
Like, where's the imagination? That's my whole thing. Like, when we started this shit 6 years ago, I had to literally, everywhere I sat and stood, I was thinking of another idea. It's just too easy for these niggas right now. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. They can literally go DBD_.com _Inc. and scroll all the way to 2013, 2014 when we started this shit. And just start doing what we did then. And just work their way up. And they have a whole entire script of what to do, how to do it on my IG. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I started this shit, there was nobody else doing this. It was just, I literally had to think of everything. And that's why I had to create a team and gather ideas, because that's what you do. And a lot of these niggas, they want to do everything by themselves. You know what I'm saying? They want to eat by themselves. They want to shop by themselves. They want to sell by themselves. They want to do everything by themselves. They don't create a team. So now, their mind frame is
for real,
super,
spark it up.
Their mind frame is super narrow. It's super narrow that they can't create anything in their heads. So they're literally doing what we do, and we're just paving the way because we can't stop. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, that's why we try to do so much things. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, we had a crazy summer. Summer's not even over, and we already put out 6 events.
Well, just this week, what do we got going on?
Shit, just
Dinner
this week.
Dinner
and dabs tomorrow.
Tuesday. Saturday's the pool party.
Saturday's another mansion pool party.
Mansion pool party.
Shout out to Smiley, Jordans and Diamonds. Y'all make sure you follow her, man. It's her birthday party this Saturday the 13th.
I'm sure she's putting a fruit or a vegetable in her mouth right now as we speak. If you go on her live.
Definitely. So y'all make sure you follow her. We got a pool party this Saturday at a mansion. The same mansion that we use for Ray's birthday and the OG Cookie Monster launch. Shout out OG Cookie Monster for having us direct that event for him.
OG.
710 bowling.
We have 710 bowling as well. That's just in July. You know what I'm saying? Now just think about that. We have a dinner, we have a mansion pool party, and we have a bowling event.
And we have a cab tour before the summer's over too.
And we just did Canna Karaoke. So just think about the diversity of what we put together and what we have to go through to convince these people to let us do what we do. Can you imagine you own a company or a business, and I come in there and I tell you, hey, this is my idea. Look at my videos. I want to do this here. You think you're going to say yes to me? No.
Yeah, it's easy to rent a spot for a birthday party or a baby shower or a wedding, but as soon as you introduce the DVD concept.
You can't lie, because in the beginning, when we used to maybe not be so forthcoming. It only bites you in the ass, at the end of the day. If you're not truthful with whoever you're renting the venue with about what you have going on there, they're going to see. They all always come through. They all always see.
We usually invite them. Come by. We lost
the lease on a property that we had because of that. For the same thing. We weren't too transparent with the landlord. He kind of didn't want to know, and we kind of didn't want to tell him. And by the time we were busting that place out, we were 6 months in on a year lease, and we were being asked to leave. Then there's really nothing we could do, because he could have kept the money, threw us out, called the police, a million things. Instead, he was just like, hey, I'm not really vibing with what you guys got going on here. Why don't we just call it quits now?
Yeah.
Guys, where do you see DBD and yourselves in the next 5 or 10 years?
I hope to be a full functioning robot by then. I think that with the advances
You're pretty
in
close. You're
modern
pretty
medical
close.
technology, that's not too far off. No,
Well, I mean, DBD, we're working on a bunch of new projects. I mean, this whole event coordinating thing is amazing. It put us where we needed to be. I'm not saying that we're giving up on it. It's definitely something that we're going to get better at, and we're going to continue to bring this vibe to South Florida. But we will be expanding. It ain't going to take 5 years. We will be expanding before the end of the summer. We're taking our talents to different states. We've gotten reached out to by different event coordinators in different states that want us to be a part of their events and throw events for them in these other medicinal and recreational states. So we are going to take our talents elsewhere. Tampa and Orlando, before we go to any other state, we were going to visit you. I promise you. I've already told a bunch of people that we will be in Tampa and Orlando before we hit up any other state. That's my word, but we will be taking our talents elsewhere. For the meantime, we're going on tour with MMG, Young Breed. Shout out to Young Breed.
Exclusive.
Double and Trunk Funk. We're going to put together a dope-ass tour. It's going to kick off in Michigan, and we're going to set the dates. We're going to let you know exactly how that's going to work within the next month or so. But as far as the next 5 or 10 years, man, God, I don't even.
We got CBD by DVD too.
We have CBD by DBD. It's about to take off. The flower has done extraordinary. Like, the numbers on the flower itself is amazing. So we're gonna be launching gummies, cartridges, pods, rubs, fucking condoms, everything CBD related.
There's merchandise for DBD too, right?
We have our merch. Shout out to Fancy. He runs the DBD Way page on IG. Follow the DBD Way for any merch, hats, shirts, thongs, anything that y'all wanna buy DBD related. So we have a couple things that we got.
We also got business development we're working on too. We're doing a cannabis business solution page.
This is something that we've been doing. We've been doing this. We've been putting brands out. We've been exposing brands. We've taken brands from the floor to the ceiling within a month or two. So it's just we never put a name behind it. So now, since it's become a thing where people want to reach out to us to exploit them, to make sure that people know who they are, to put their brands out there, we have a bunch of brand sponsors. We decided to make it into a business, and that's another project that we got going. So if you're looking to open up a brand, if you're looking out to put your brand out, maybe your brand that you've had out isn't doing the numbers that you're wanting to do, just reach out, man. We'll put a plan together according to your budget, and we'll make it work for you.
Any advice that you guys want to give either the listeners, be vendors, or guests, or anybody?
Shit, advice for the listeners and our guests, man. We appreciate the support. Keep coming out. We ain't gonna stop. If you guys have any dope ideas, anything that you want to see up and coming for DBD, any projects that you want us to put together, any venue ideas or anything extraordinary that you know we can handle, just let us know. Hit us in the DM. Don't be shy. If anybody has a dope idea and we put it to light, you get free access to every single one of those events that we put to light. So just hit us up with some ideas and we'll make them work.
I got some advice. Wash your ass. Nobody likes a stinky motherfucker. Besides that, we wanted to give some vendor shout outs too. There's a bunch of vendors.
Please do.
We want to give some shout outs too.
We've been rocking with a few vendors for a while now. I mean, I have an email list of over 200 vendors that I've worked with in the last 5 years, going on 6. So obviously, all the vendors, you know what I'm saying, aren't going to be named. But for those of you that have been rocking with us for the last 2 or 3 events, we noticed a consistent pattern of you guys. You guys are always faithful to us, always coming out, quick to pay. Make sure you lock down your spots on time. You know, you follow protocol. You're always on time for setup. You never leave a mess behind. These vendors, we are going to reward you guys, and we're putting together, we don't have a date yet, but we are putting together a vendor bash that it's mentally been like boiling in my head for the vendors so that
what the fuck?
I see you here laughing. I want to laugh.
Just go.
We want to put together a vendor bash. It's kind of like a dinner party for all our vendors that have been rocking with us throughout the years. We're going to put out details. I'm too loud? We're going to put out details. We're going to put out details on that soon. So, yeah. So let me just give a couple shout outs, man, real quick. I brought a little list here.
Before he hits that again, I want to shout out All Spec Security, man.
All Spec Security,
All Spec
man.
Security,
Shout out All
keeping
Spec
everybody
Security.
safe, bro. Best in the game.
Best in the game, bro. All day. They know everything about what we do, and if they're there, you guys are definitely safe. They've been rocking with us for a few years as well. We also use other security companies for bigger events, but they are our lockdown force. They usually run every single event for us, whether it's a small one or a big one. As far as the vendors goes, hold on. I want to give a shout out to a few vendors. So I got a little list here of the vendors that have been rocking with us for a few events now that I wanted to run through. Let's start with the Gritty Experience, Top Notch Gardens, man. Shout out Top Team 420. We got Alien Invasion Cannabis, which is our sponsor for a dinner party tomorrow. Make sure you get those tickets. Mr. Concentrate and Angry Man, they've been rocking with us since day one. Mr. Concentrate and El Smoke Angry Man have been rocking with us since my first event. I actually met them at another event, and they came to me, and we just kicked it off, and they've been rocking with us ever since, man. They don't miss a show. So if you don't know how long they've been around for, when you hear Angry Man talking all this shit, that he's this nigga, the original Dab Lounge, he ain't lying. The man has been around for a long time. He's putting on a lot of work out here. He's giving out thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars in free dabs over the years, and I couldn't be more thankful, Ray. You already know, man. There's something else. Scoops just hopped into the picture. Shout out to Scoops LA, man. They've been doing their thing. They've been rocking with us for the last few events.
Shout out Resbound Labs, man.
Resbound Labs have been down for a minute. They're actually sponsoring our dinner event tomorrow, so you will get a goodie, a Resbound goodie, in the goodie bag tomorrow.
Shout out Smoke Effects, also sponsoring
Smoke
goodie
Effects
bags.
and Smokers Goods, also sponsored.
Shout out Royalty Extracts.
Royalty Extracts, also sponsoring our goodie bags tomorrow. The goodie bags tomorrow are going to be on point. I'm telling you, your goodie bags tomorrow are going to be on point. So let's get back to Infused Catering, man. Infused Catering, I found Infused Catering at a local
homeless shelter.
Not a homeless shelter.
Sorry.
At a local
back
bar,
alley.
at a local bar and lounge, and I remembered him from high school, man. I went to high school with Infused Catering, and I walked up to the bar and I saw him cooking. I'm like, oh shit, you know. And I was already working on my second event.
High school, what was he, the principal?
He was.
Oh my god.
I think he's like a grade. Older than us.
I remember Ed from high school too.
I was a freshman and he was a professor.
He was our soccer coach. And I saw him cooking, cooking his thing, obviously not infused. And I asked him, I'm like, yo, how do you feel about coming and cooking, at a 420 event, and making like 420 treats? And after that idea, look, buddy got a food truck. He's another one that's come a long way. He's been with us since the beginning.
Congrats.
There's a few event coordinators that didn't want him out there, you know what I'm saying? Now they're all over his dick and shit because they know we fuck with Infuse. Higher Solutions, LMA Edibles, Flexin 420 South. We rock with them heavy. Party in My Mouth is another one. Bree, y'all been around since day one.
Dab in the Hut too.
Dab in the
Hut.
Been around since day one. These are people that have literally watched us grow and have been there. If you've been at the pop-up, if you were at the first pop-up and you survived the pop-up, you know the history behind our brand, and you know why people rock with us, and you understand why people don't rock with a lot of other brand coordinators, event coordinators. A Good Looking Gang, TKO Extras, Lotus Infused. We got the whole Burning Tree family, Potency, I Got You Miami, Alapata Marketing, Golden Bear. Shout out to that whole entire team right there. We got Miami Dabbers that just hopped in the scene with us, but they show mad love. Triple Hex, man. Triple Hex is another one that, what was that? You gotta take a break?
No, I was going to say Triple Hex.
Oh, see what I'm saying? People already know who they are. Triple Hex, man. We've been rocking with them for a minute too. They got some fire.
Lotus Infused too. The homies got them infused.
Lotus
beverages.
Infused.
Kills it.
Let me see who else we got laying around.
Also, shout out to Amanda Marie. I don't know if you guys know. She's got this brand out now. It's
Saved
called
by Cannabis.
Saved by Cannabis. It's like some modern, sophisticated lifestyle brand she's been working on. She's about to drop it for the people, man. She's got a lot of big things going. Give her a follow at
Saved by
Amanda
Cannabis.
Marie SXC.
Shout out Turptown, man. Turptown Farms.
He's a banger too.
Shout out to Sloshies too, bro. He's another one that's what I'm talking about. New ideas. You know what I'm saying? Another one that had a great idea and he brought it to our community. He don't have to be in the 420 community, but he made his way in and now he's selling his little 420 slushies. You can catch him at the pool party.
Bomb.
Bro.
Bomb.
Slosh. Sloshy.
Yeah, like you will be sloshed.
Done.
Hennessy and distillate infused, like they're good to go. You have 3 of them, you got a nice buzz going.
Shout
I
out to
have 3. I
who
have a
else?
nice buzz going. You have 3, but the other 4.
Who else we got?
We got so many, bro.
So terrible treats.
So many
Terrible
people.
treats is another one. Shout out to Tori, man.
I'm trying to look to remember.
Man.
Shout out to homie Dave Dabs, man. Dave Dabs, he also has a new brand too.
Illuminati
Melts, Serious Fire
Fires
only.
melts out right now.
Serious Fire only. Salt Life Dabs. They come through with a lot. What else we got?
It's just so, like I said, we have over 200 vendors on an email list, man. If I didn't get to you guys, I didn't even like that, but we just try to show love to as many people as we can.
Canaguru
as well.
official, he comes through, shows love.
King's Refinery, Stone Stooges, Leaf Life Collection, 710, Loud Pack.
Willie the Glass Guy.
Willie the Glass Guy, bro. Come on, Brother
Always,
Bud, Kismet
always.
Glass 2. Those are our local glass blowers. 3 of Florida's best local glass blowers. Shit,
Yeah.
man, it's just a lot.
I mean, we could do a whole show of thank yous at this
We
point.
really could.
You feel me?
Jesus.
I just hate it. If I left you out, hit my DM,
I mean-
and I'm gonna make a personal post about you.
But let's do this, because it does seem like we're getting to the tail end of the show here.
2 minutes.
Of all these events, of all the event planning, all the events you guys have put together, and you've been embedded into the city and the community, what's your favorite thing about these events?
Me personally, I like to know everybody, man. I take it very personal if I don't match a face to an IG. So my best thing I take from the events is putting those faces to those names and meeting those people and people coming up and thanking me. Whether the thank you is necessary or not, for me it's more putting that face to that name. This way I know who that person is when I'm looking at my stuff. So I love meeting those people and putting the faces to the name. It's like puts me, I feel like, more of a part of the community, the more the people that I know in the community.
Dope.
I like the thank yous, bro. I like putting smiles on people's faces, man. When I see people walking around our events with that smile and like the whole wow look and the cameras out, and it's like I always tell my team, if people aren't taking pictures and filming themselves at our shows, we ain't doing our jobs. You know what I'm saying? Because when we go to a dope place, you go to the Miami Heat game, what's the first thing you do when you see the Dwayne Waiter?
Yeah.
The first thing you grab your phone and you want to make sure you catch everything. So I want to see that at our shows. If we don't do that, we don't bring that type of feeling to you, we ain't doing our job. I want to make sure everyone leaves and comes happy, leaves happier, and comes to the next one. That's the whole thing. We put a lot of people on, and we just feel like they're not doing that. So we got to take, initiative. I have people thanking me for other events.
Yeah, and shout out Catch Me If You Can too, 305. He handles our Twitter page, man. He does a lot of promo for us. He's always in the cut, man. Give him a shout out too.
Definitely. Catch Me If You Can. Shout out Catch Me If You Can. Follow us on Twitter, man. DBD Lifestyles.
I was just going to ask you, where can they find you guys on social media, websites? Give me everything.
You can find us. I'm DBD_Inc. We have the DBD way for any merch that you want on IG. We have what's here? BK
_ FKN _ RAY.
What does that stand for? Right?
BK fucking Ray. It should come up with the BK, but yeah, come check me out.
So I mean, you can
It's
we ain't hard to
fucking
find.
Ray on Twitter too, I think, or Brooklyn Ray on Twitter, but I don't tweet too often.
We're gonna be coming out to some more events. We're gonna be showing love to other events out here. We just don't know which ones. If you guys can recommend a dope event for us to come out to and check out, we would appreciate it. We don't know. They all seem the same to us, so we don't know which ones to come and check out. But we do want to show love. Shout out Jet Group, man. He has an event coming up. What is it? Reefer Mania. Y'all go check him out. He hit us up about that. But yeah, man, other than that, we out here just trying to make sure the cannabis community in Florida stays strong and collective, man.
All right, and I just want to remind everybody before we go, tonight is Take Flight Mondays at G5. We got dinner and dabs tomorrow night. Fast Money Fridays coming up again. We got the Mansion Pool Party on Saturday the 13th. Make sure you guys check out Jordans and Diamonds on the gram so you guys can find out more ticket info on that. We got the 710 bowling coming up at the end of the month as well. So make sure you guys follow at DBD_Inc. And of course, if you guys missed any of the information for Day by Day Lifestyles, Entertainment Inc., BK fucking Ray, make sure you guys hit me up on the gram at 305_brownie and I'll be happy to provide you with that information.
Man, it's like it should be a recording. I don't even hear you breathe.
She pressed the button and it said that. She didn't say that, guys.
Jesus.
To all of our loyal listeners, I also want to thank everybody because it's our last show from Brickle, but we actually have Yuli the Monster Diaz coming up next, so make sure you guys stay tuned to that. Leo, Ray, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you guys. Shout out Miami Underground Radio. We killed it. This is their last
Thanks
show.
For having us.
Thanks for having us, man.
Not the last show. Last show here.
Last show here. Last show here. Catch me if you can. What it do?
Let me tell you guys, it's been a blast having you guys here, especially the way every time since the first time I went to one of these events. It was just one of those things that kind of blew my mind. It was great to see because at some point we got to evolve as a community. You know what I'm saying? So I gotta commend you guys on doing great things with this this culture, this CBD thing, right? Let's stick to that. No, but I mean, like, I just can't wait to see everything go. You know, the laws get passed and see you guys at full throttle. That's what I want to see.
Appreciate you, bro.
I really glad to see you guys here, and I love everything you guys are doing. For those of you listening outside of the country. Or outside of Miami in general.
This is worldwide.
This is worldwide. We have people listening from Germany, Venezuela, France,
Japan.
Japan.
Konnichiwa,
I'm saying konnichiwa, bitches. No. But this is the thing, man. Like, I'm pretty sure that when everyone listens to it, that's why I ask a lot of questions about. Be descriptive. Be a little bit more like this. If you guys need to know what's going on with DBD, follow them at DBD_INC Inc. You're gonna see how crazy these events get. It's the most impressive shit I've been to. It's a lot of fun too. First of all, it's fucking a great time. But you know, I just want you guys to be able to check it out. So if you're watching me on Leo's IG right now, follow us at 305radio.com. At 305 Radio, everything.
And 305 Magazine, right?
And 305 Magazine.
You got 305 Radio and 305 Magazine at 305.com. Y'all make sure you follow them.
Now, thank you very much for coming on the show. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, you could call us at 305.
305.
It's 305. 791. It's not 305.
No, it's 791.
It's not 305, yo. Why are you confusing me, son? All right, here we go. No, the number is... All right, so the number is 305-791-3054. Give us a call, 305-791-3054. My name is George, at 305 Magazine. Anything social media you can find me on. Thank you for tuning in. And, man, this is second to last show in this studio. Brickle, we love you. You got to go. We gotta go.
Y'all, man. Shout out Tatted Up Chris, bro. I see you. He got the local art room up. Anybody got any art to hit him up? Tatted Up Chris. Gons just redid his whole entire shit. I seen that. That shit came out sick. Shout out to Gons. Rabbits too.
Shout out to Gons.
Heavy.
All right, guys. So
appreciate it.
This is what it is. Next episode, Yuli. And then we done here with this location. We're gonna have you guys back. As soon as we get into a new spot, I want you guys to come back. And that story about everything that fucking went down, you're going to tell it here, bro.
Gotcha.
Exclusive.
Say less, bro.
Shout out to Will. He's not at the show right now, but just give him a quick shout out. LMG_Willie,
and that's Willie with a Y at the end.
Willie with a Y at the end.
Thank you very much for tuning in.
Appreciate
Until next time.
man. Thank you.